The last topic in our unit is going to be an application of a function. And remember, this unit is all about functions. So here's the cost function and a problem to go with it. A Seahawks game seats 70,000 people, and at a price of $75 a ticket, the Seahawks usually sell around 60,000 tickets. So in other words, they don't sell out. The Hawks consider raising the price, and market experts tell them for each $10 increase, the Hawks will sell 1,000 less tickets per game. So if prices can increase by any dollar amount, find the ticket price that will maximize the revenue. Round to the nearest cent. Well, first of all, let's just come up with a general formula in words. We know that our revenue is going to be equal to the number of tickets sold times the price of that ticket. And another thing to keep in mind is the number of tickets sold would be the number of people at the game, or the number of people that bought a ticket, right? So how can we write this using math? Well, our revenue is going to be equal to, well, first of all, how many tickets were sold? Well, typically they sell 60,000. But then we have to subtract the number of people that we lose based off of our dollar increase. So what we're going to do is we're going to let X be equal to a $10 increase. So in other words, if I let X equals 2, then we're increasing the price by $20. If we let X equals 5, we're increasing the price by $50. And so let's look at this sentence again. It says market experts tell them for each $10 increase, they're going to lose 1,000 people, or they'll sell 1,000 less tickets. So what we're going to say is that for every X, we lose 1,000 people. So that's going to look like this. Because for every $10 increase, we lose 1,000 people. So this right here represents the number of tickets sold, which is the same thing as the number of people that are attending. Now, what's the price going to be? Well, the price is $75, but we're talking about increasing it by $10 increases. So we're going to do that as plus 10x. So do you see what I did there? This is basically saying that my original cost is $75, and then for every X, let's say X is 3, we're going to add $30, which makes total sense. All right, at this point right now, we need to do FOIL. So I would pause this video right now and do FOIL on your own. Remember, that's F-O-I-L. So pause this video and see if you can get FOIL correctly. So the first thing I get is this right here. Struggling, you guys. Come on. Come on. Where did it go? There it is. So first thing I get is this right here, and then I combine my inner terms, and that becomes this right here. So we have to think about this. This is a negative parabola, so if we were to graph this, and it'd be huge and really not good to graph on a graphing calculator, but it's going to look like this. And to maximize it, we'd want to find our vertex. And just a reminder, the vertex we find by doing negative b over 2a. That's how we find that vertex. That's from Algebra 2. And so our a is going to be this value right here, and our b is going to be this value right here. So our revenue, in terms of finding that maximum value, to find the x value that would give the maximum, we're going to do negative b over 2a. So that's going to be negative 525,000 all over 2 times negative 10,000. And that gives me 26.25. And you should really check that in your calculator. This is frustrating today. Sorry. So we get 26.25. So what does that mean? Well, that's the number of $10 increases that we should do. So if we want to figure out what the price is, right, find the ticket price is our actual question, find the ticket price, then our price is equal to this right here, which is our $75 plus 10 times X. So our price is going to be equal to 75 plus 10 times the number of $10 increases, which is $26.25. So our price is going to be equal to 75 plus 10 times 26.25, and I get $337. And they're definitely going to have less people in their stadium, but their profit will be higher. All right, the next question says, the Hawks also know that each person attending a game spends an average of $20 on concessions. Explain how this would impact the formula used on the previous problem. And it's not actually asking you to solve it, but it's asking to write the equation. So let's remind ourselves what the previous equation was. So here's our equation, and the first thing stands for the number of tickets sold, or the number of people attending, and the second stands for the price of the ticket. So this says that each person is going to spend an average of $20 on concessions. So we're going to say that this is going to be the number of people times $20, because we need to take the number of people and multiply it by 20, because each person at that stadium is going to spend $20. And so, folks, that's simply it. That would be a bonus on your test, but not too much harder than the previous problem. All right. A Chelan game seats 1,000 people at a price of $20 a ticket. Chelan usually sells 400 tickets. Chelan considers raising their price, and market experts tell them for every $2 increase, Chelan will sell 20 less tickets per game. If prices can increase by any dollar amount, find the ticket price that will maximize the revenue. Well, our revenue is going to be equal to the number of people that are going to be there. So they usually sell 400 tickets, minus, it says that for every $2 increase, you're going to lose 20 less tickets, or 20 less people. So we're going to let X equal the number of $2 increases. So this is going to be minus 20X, because for each $2 increase, we're going to lose 20 people from the 400 that we started with. All right, and then the price of the ticket is going to be, well, $25 to start with, plus $2 for every X. All right, let's go ahead and do FOIL for that. I get revenue is equal to, I get that right there. And now I know that I'm going to find the maximum of our negative parabola, which is a sad face. So to find that, I do negative b over 2a. So that's going to give me a negative 300 divided by 2 times my a, which is negative 40. And that gives me 3.75. So the price of my ticket, remember this right here represents the price. My price of my ticket is going to be the $25 original cost plus 2, because remember X represents the number of $2 increases, times 3.75. And that 3.75 represents the number of $2 increases. So just plugging that quickly into my calculator, I get $32.50 for the cost of a ticket in Chelan. All right, now the next question says, Chelan also knows that each person attending a game spends an average of $10 on concession. Explain how this would impact the formula used on the previous problem. Well, we know that the previous problem was this, and we also know that this represents the number, folks, I love computers. This represents the number of people, so I'm going to have plus 25 plus 2x, the number of people, times $10, because each of those ticket holders are going to spend $10. Now, if the question asks something like, how much money now should the ticket cost be? Well, you would have to graph this parabola, or factor it, find the negative b over 2a, and then you'd find your new value. But you will not be required to do that on a test. Thanks for watching, everyone.